Hey guys, I'm IzDaisho and I'm here bringing you some magic, and today I'm going to be bringing you round 2, game 1 of my first Gatecrash draft. So this is not the most recent one that I've done a couple since then, the last of which I didn't record, so I guess I can tell you what happened. I ended up winning. I played a Simic deck. It was okay. Not great, but it had some cool curves, and it just kind of worked out pretty well, so it ended up being a pretty good deck. Anyway, on to this game. It starts off pretty slowly. I don't have all my colors. I'm playing a Naya deck, and my opponent ends up getting stuck on 3 lands for a while, so it just becomes a little bit awkward. So I'm going to play a Croconura after he plays a Sage's Row Denizen, and my opponent is newer than me at playing the game, so you'll see a couple of times he just forgets to untap things or whatever, but it's definitely no big deal, and it still provides a pretty good match, I think. So unfortunately he's stuck on 3 and I am stuck on 2 colors, so it gets a little bit awkward for most of the beginning parts of the game, because neither of us can actually cast all the spells in our hand, so it's definitely not ideal, but I think I'm actually going to be doing pretty well, since I have my Croconura straight into an Assault Griffin, and I think that this Griffin is just going to be able to take over the game, but he's got a Psychic Strike for me, so that was really clutch by him to have had that, and now I've not played anything, and then I think he mills another Assault Griffin as well as a Plains, so you can see my deck was definitely filled with those guys. I mean, Assault Griffin's just a really good card, and unless you have a ton of great 4-drops, I just almost never cut it. So I'm very happy to be playing the 3 that I am in this game. But my opponent feels like he just has to do something here, and I think he makes a bit of a mistake. So he could have just attacked with his. Oh no, not this turn. Sorry about that. Talking about next turn. So anyway, but he could have made the attack, just Sage's Row Denizen into my Croconura. If I don't block, then he's very happy because he just gets in 2 free points. But if I do block, then he's in even better shape, because he's got a Burst of Strength in hand. I don't know if he just drew the Burst of Strength or what, but he's going to end up gridlocking my guy and then Burst of Strengthing to attack for 1. He does it mid-combat so that his guy untaps. And now he's got a 3/4, and all I've got is my Croconura, so unless I can draw a creature or a mountain or something like that, then it's just not going to work out. So, because he's just going to be able to keep hitting me for 3, and I'm not really going to be able to do anything about it, which is not in the position that I want to be. But anyway, he's got that 3/4 Denizen, my Croconura. I've got tons of cards in hand. None of them are mountains, which is really bad, because almost all the spells in my deck require red to cast. But this is where it really comes to hurt me, the fact that I screwed up making my mana base. I mean, I put in, and for those of you who've been following this game, you might remember that I put in 6 forests and 4 mountains instead of 6 mountains and 4 forests. I just made a mistake like that. But anyway, I luckily draw this Crown Ceratoc off the top, which is going to give me a 4/3, but it also is going to evolve my Croconura into a 2/4, so now he can't really attack because I'll just be able to block. So that puts me in a lot better shape than I previously was. So he's just going to play a, what's he going to play here? Grizzly Spectacle, I believe. And he's going to end up just killing my Ceratoc right away. And that's good for him, but it's not so bad for, like, it's not the end of the world for me, because that means that I still am able to block since I got that evolve off. So it would have been much better if I hadn't lost my Ceratoc, but at least it did provide some benefit for me. So anyway, I finally drew my red source, which puts me in great position. I'm just going to immediately ground assault his dude, just get it out of there, and then hit him for 2. So now I'm basically trying to take control of the game. I get rid of his main threat, or really his only threat, and funnily enough, both me and my opponent broke out of our mana issues about the same time. I drew my mountain, and he started drawing some lands within the same couple of turns. So I guess like the first 4 minutes, basically nothing happened. I mean, he used a couple of cards, I used a couple of cards, but neither of us really did much. and the life totals are still fairly high with barely anything on board. So that is that's the situation we're in right now. So he's going to play a Rust Scarab 4/5. Whenever it becomes blocked, you can destroy an artifact or enchantment. I like that card a decent amount. I'm willing to play a 4/5 for 5, and the fact that it has an interesting upside that is sometimes relevant is definitely worth playing, in my opinion. But I'm just going to play a Fortress Cyclops and pass the turn. That card has just really impressed me every time that I've cast it. It's been useful and helpful, so I just really like that card, and I think it's going to be pretty much the best 5-drop in red or white that you're going to want to play pretty much every time. Every time that you get it, unless you have some sort of like rare 5-drop or something like that. Because, I mean, sometimes the Boros deck doesn't really want to run too many 5-drops, if any. Sometimes it just wants to have a billion 2-drops, a couple of 3-drops, and some removal. But and like the removal is sometimes just going to be an Angelic Edict, which is on the 5-drop spot, so they might not want a big finisher. But for those of you who are wondering like why I like it so much, it's a 6/3, so a 6-power creature for 5 mana. It's kind of unheard of. Spawn of Rix Mahdi did that. It was a 6/4, but it couldn't block. So instead of not being able to block, this creature blocks extremely well at a 3/6. So that's why I like this card so much. And the fact that it has one less toughness would be relevant in Return to Ravnica, where there were so many 3/3s, but in this format, it doesn't seem like 3 power or is nearly as common as it was in the last set. But anyway, he's just going to play a Crown Ceratok, and now I've got a 3/5 and a 6/3 when attacking, and he's got a 4/3 and a 4/5, so no real... I mean, I could attack, but it would just be like a trade, and it's just an interesting board right now. So I'm going to play Basilica Guards here, and that's pretty interesting. Like, I don't get to do my Extort here because I messed up on tapping the mana. I should have tapped 2 forests and a plains for my Basilica Guards. But yeah, that was just a mistake. I don't know why I did that. That was pretty stupid, actually. But anyway, he's just going to Spell Rupture away my my Sunhome Guildmage, so that kind of sucks. He made me do it, except I couldn't tap 4, so yeah, that was never going to work out. An interesting interaction is the Extort triggers go on the stack before a spell resolves. So you cast the spell, and then they pay for Extort, and then afterwards you can Spell Rupture the spell after all the Extort resolves. So if you had done it the other way around, then and you had Spell Rupture their spell before they paid for Extort, then they could have just used that mana to pay for the Spell Rupture instead of the Extort. But once they actually do pay for the Extort, then the Spell Rupture can take place, and they probably won't have enough to pay for it. So sorry if that didn't really come out as clearly as I wanted. I don't know why. But anyway, my opponent is now just drawing straight lands, and he's down to only 2 cards in hand. So looks like he's got a Syndicate Enforcer and a Smog Elemental. So if he plays a Smog Elemental this turn, then he's got nothing to extort with. So I think that's why he decided to go with the Syndicate Enforcer, and that way the next turn he can just extort me. So I'm pretty sure that's the reason why he decided to do that. But I'm getting my spells out one at a time, but I still have, I think, my Hellkite Tyrant in hand, so I would really like to draw a second red source. That would just put me in way better shape. So if I draw that Prophetic Prism or a Guild Gate, or, I mean, the best would be a Mountain. But anyway, I'm just going to Ground Assault another one of his Crown Ceratok, and do it with Extort, so I gain some life, and then I can beat in and actually start getting in there, hopefully. So that's going to be 3 damage, and he can't even swing back since I've got that Basilica Guards, another card which I like a ton. I mean, I think once that card was spoiled, everybody's like, yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, 1/4 for 3 is already fine, and the fact that you just toss Extort on it is super awesome. So he's going to now cast his Smog Elemental, I believe. I don't think he ended up tapping enough black to extort it. I think he only ended up tapping 2 black, but he really needed 3 black because he needed 2 in the mana cost and 1 for the extort. But I didn't notice it at the time, and it really isn't relevant because all it means is that he has 0 cards in hand and a forest instead of 0 cards in hand and a swamp up. So it obviously made no real difference in the game. It was just an interesting thing that happened. Anyway, I'm going to attack in here with my Croconura, and I think some alarm bells should be going off in his head. I mean, the double block here seems pretty obvious. I can still only kill one of his creatures, and he gets to kill mine, so maybe that's why he decided not to block. Or maybe he just thought that he could take a couple of damage here and start racing me with his flyer. But anyway, I play a Legion Loyalist here with some extortion going on, and that's really my only play for the turn, because I don't have any more. Like, I think the only 2 cards in my hand are double red, or maybe I think I have the Blood Rush +2/+4 guy. But anyway, here I'm just gonna cast a Hellkite Tyrant and do some extortion. Or no, I'm not gonna do any extorting. Am I? No, I'm not, because I wanted to save the 2 mana up for my Scab Clan Charger just in case he decided to block. So I'm going to play a Hellkite Tyrant first main phase to evolve this guy. It's an interesting thing because you're always taught to play your spell second main phase, but obviously with evolve, you're definitely just going to want to do it first main. Otherwise, you're just giving up a lot of value if you don't end up attacking with with the thing that gets evolved. But anyway, I'm going to attack with both my guys, and he's a little bit confused, I guess, because he's just going to block my Legion Loyalist, so I'm going to Scab Clan Charger it. But he should have been able to see that one coming because I didn't extort my Hellkite Tyrant, so he should know that I had something for 2 mana that I wanted to cast. I guess it could have been like a Prophetic Prism second main phase, or just even like a 2-drop creature or something like that. But otherwise, I wouldn't have attacked with the Legion Loyalist otherwise, so it didn't really make too much sense. But I'm pretty sure that my opponent isn't going to be able to do much else in the way of surviving. I mean, he could probably survive one more turn. Looks like he drew a Cloudfin Raptor, and he can extort it, so that's fine. But I guess he just... Oh, no, he can't extort it because his Siddigan Enforcer just died last turn to the Legion Loyalist with a Scab Clan Charger attached to it. So anyway, the Legion Loyalist, I guess, is just going to give all my guys Trample, which is somewhat relevant. I don't know. But I'm going to play a 5-Alarm Fire here. I think I was holding that card the entire game, but it really didn't do much except be another spell that I can extort, and then just attack with all my guys for the victory. So that was game 1. Hope you guys all enjoyed, and have a wonderful day. Bye.